This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is now August the 27th to the 29th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranger Stock Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Oh, I'm here. Hello. I'm like, yeah, I'm the star now. I'm just kidding. Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special interview of the Morphin Network. As I interview my good friend, you can say one of the creators of this page. So, yes, technically she's the queen. So, she's the shadow owner of this page, all right? So, yeah, she's my boss now. We have, everyone, Martha D. Staab of MDMC Entertainment. So, oh, oop, I forgot to put your thing. Here we go.
There you go. Thank you so much.
How you doing, my good friend and my secret boss?
Secret boss. First of all, you give me way too much credit for that. I didn't do that. I helped. I helped you guide your way to this new venture. So I'm not the boss, but I've just been, silently consulting you behind the scenes. But that's about it. I don't get that much credit of being the owner of this page.
So before we start, Martha, can you tell us, the fans, like who you are for those who don't know, like, and what you do?
Okay, well, my name is Martha D. Staab. I am the owner of MDMC Entertainment, and that is a digital marketing agency that I started out as a side gig back in 2014. I was working with people in Star Trek, and eventually I found my way into Power Rangers. And who's calling during my interview?
No,
and so I found my way into Power Rangers, and then I started working with Power Rangers, and then it just kind of manifested. I was working as I'd been a marketer since around 2012, and I was working in a really boring industry, and I just knew I wanted to be in entertainment in some form or fashion. So I started MDMC Entertainment as a side gig to kind of give me what my job wasn't feeding me. And it just kind of turned into something, and it just kept, Rangers started to come to me, because I had a marketing background. That was one of the reasons why, I do work with people I work with, because I actually had some background in it. And eventually it built and built. And then a couple years ago, 2018, I was unceremoniously let go from one of my 9-to-5 job just out of nowhere. And people in the Ranger community were like, well, now it's your time to do this full time. And I was in a panic. I was like, I can't do this full time. Like some of these little gigs were only paying, a couple $100. It wasn't like a big thing. And so it took a while, and it took me getting into another job with a really shitty boss. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I have to go work for myself. And the way it worked at the end of 2019, I ended up landing a really large client in the San Diego area. And it just, it turned into something big. Now MDMC Entertainment is my full-time baby. It's what I do from 9 to midnight every night, every day. And I'm really fortunate because I get to work with really amazing people and amazing clients, and I get to really feed my soul into what I really want to do versus working for shitty people. So that's kind of how MDMC came to be. It's been a long, long process, 2014 to now, starting out as a side gig and then growing into something full-time and something I can sustain myself, pay my rent, pay my bills, and just do it all from the comfort of this very spot right here in my house. So
yeah. Yes. Before we continue, so if you guys don't know, this woman was actually the one that helped me make Morphin Network. So Yeah, she's technically my counselor. So, anyways, let's start this interview, shall we? So,
Yeah.
Martha D. Staab or Miss Staab, how
Mhm.
did you start working? Well, you kind of answered it, but can you tell us more how you get into becoming an agent, a marketing agent?
A marketing agent. So marketing was not my path. It was actually public relations was really where I was meant to be. I went to college at Eastern New Mexico University and majored in public relations. And I just wanted to, at that time, wanted to work for the NFL. I wanted to go play in a Super Bowl. And for a second there, I wanted to work for E News too, because I was doing some stuff in news as well. Because public relations, you learn everything. You learn how to write for news, how to report the news, how to, get in front of the camera and do it, and all this stuff. So I was, design things like that. So that's what I was doing. And so when my first job out of college, I was actually a editor for my local newspaper back home, and I did that for about a year, and I really did like it. And when I moved to California and San Diego, I found out pretty quickly that just having that 1 year experience of being an editor for a newspaper was not enough to get me a job. So I ended up just desperate. I was like, I will intern at places. I will do stuff, And people were like, yeah, you don't have the experience. You're going to have to intern. So I took an unpaid internship for 3 months at a marketing agency. I couldn't get into a PR firm. No idea why. I had the degree for it, but for some reason, public relations, it was just hard for me to get into. I couldn't understand it. And so kind of just landed in this firm, and I just started learning marketing. And I was like, well, this is literally the same thing as PR, just a little differentiations, a little here and there, but not much. And I was like, all right, well, I guess this is the path. This is the way, I guess. And so I did that for about 3 months. And then I landed a job, a full paying job, because it was nuts. Being an unpaid intern in Southern California is the worst. There's no money for anything. If you live in California, you understand what I'm talking about. But I landed this full-time gig at this company. It was not what I intended to be, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it for a little bit, learn what I learn, and I'll go from there. And so when I was at that job, it was like the job interview was 2 hours long. And the guy was like, I love the fact that you've been a writer. You know how to get on TV and talk to people. You know how to do all this stuff. You're coming into a company that has none of that. So literally it was a fresh canvas. They said, you can do what you want. And I said, all right. And it was like going back to college, those 3 years, because I had to relearn shit, and I had to learn how to really do marketing the way they wanted it to be. So it was a little bit of public relations and marketing. And that to me, I had weekly meetings with my boss that were 3 to 4 hours long. Might as well have been in a college auditorium, because that is really where I learned everything from SEO to Google Analytics to YouTube advertising to Facebook advertising to social media tactics, like email marketing. I learned it all in that spot. And I was like, once I learned it there, my boss told me, he says, I can make you one of the best marketers on the West Coast. And I had to take the job, because I was like, you know what, this may be like a really boring setting, but marketing is universal and you can apply it to anything. So that's kind of how that happened. Like my full-on education of getting that marketing foundation down and then just going with it was really what happened there. So yeah. And then, eventually I just found people that needed marketing, and I just started doing these little side gigs here and there.
Yeah, like us, because I didn't know how to do marketing until you taught me. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes. Leo. Next
Yeah,
question.
gotcha. What inspired you in becoming an entrepreneur?
Oh, I hated life, honestly. I was doing, I lived in Oceanside, California, and I had to drive to Poway. If you guys know how long that is, that's an hour.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember.
An hour in traffic. So my boss demanded I be there at 7 a.m. So I was like, shit, okay. So I literally got up at 5 a.m, was in my car by 5:30, and got to the office by 7, because it's about an hour and a half in the morning traffic. It's an hour and a half commute. And then I couldn't get off of work until 5:30. So I was getting home at like 7 at night. So I would leave in the dark and I'd get home in the dark. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I can't do this. Like, and I did that for 3 years. And it's so funny because I was just transferring old pictures off of my laptop. And you could tell, like, I had no makeup. I looked run down. I looked tired. I was like, dang, like, that was horrible. And so I was like, there's got to be an easier way to make a living. And eventually, you know, I was like, you know what? I've got to figure this out. I've got to like really move on into being an entrepreneur and doing this for myself. And, you know, it just started off with little jobs here and there. And then, you know, eventually it just built and built and built, and people started to know me. I started going to all the conventions in Southern California. I ran into you guys quite a bit at some shows while I was networking, and just building that network to find those people is what really kind of helped me. And it inspired me too, because they're like, you're really good at what you do. You could just totally do this. And, you know, I just wanted to be able, at the last job I had before I was unceremoniously let go, I was bored there too, because I was like, there's so much more I could be doing here, but I can't do it. It just won't let me. And I, you know, I would sit there and I'm like, man, I see other people that are entrepreneurs doing what they can do on their own schedule, on their own timeline, chilling with a laptop at the beach working. I've done that. You know, by the pool, by my pool, I've done that too. And I'm just like, I could be happy at home doing this. And so to find that work-life balance was really what inspired me to go in this direction and keep pushing forward, because there was many weekends where I would go and do shows where I was traveling with talent to other places, making these connections. I'm like, all of this will end up adding up down the line. And it did. It just took a really long time from 2014 to now. So about 6 years worth of time before it ended up being that entrepreneur lifestyle that I wanted.
Excellent. Yes, I mean, I wish I had a poll too, but you know what I mean. So now my next question to you, my good friend, is how did you become a social media curator?
Social media is interesting because you have to really think about how people are using the platform, and how one thing I love to do is I love to look at my competition to see what they're doing. And if it's not something I'm doing, I'll try to figure out my own way of doing it. But the one way that most people should be curating their social media is branding the hell out of it. If you have noticed, any piece of MDMC content has the MDMC logo on it. So branding all the way. Same with my clients. I have several clients. You probably know who some of them are, some of them that aren't. But except for like Roger, because Roger's Roger, you know, he doesn't have a logo, but it's, but like for businesses and things like that, you know, it's really important to really grasp the company voice of who those people are and what their messaging is. And so when you're picking these pieces, I've been told I have a really good eye at design. And I was told that very early on when I was working at the Roswell Daily Record as a features editor. They gave me every Sunday that, you know, you guys remember what newspapers are like, right? So
Yeah.
Yes.
Most people don't. But every Sunday I had a page, like the C section is like one full page on the front page of that section. And they said, write your article, put your pictures, put a pretty little clip art here and there, and call it a day. And I did that formula like twice, and I was like, this is boring. Like, no one's going to read this. And I started to play around with color and play around with design, and those pages popped. And let me tell you, a Sunday paper is about $1 in New Mexico. I don't know what it is here. But because those pages popped, people read it. And then that included building up more sales for the publisher. So they didn't get too pissed when I was using all this color on a Sunday run. And so it's the same thing. It's like, what's gonna catch people's eye to read your content, look at it, and actually, you know, engage with it. And so adding in that company colors, company logos, and really trying to tell the picture the way you want it to be said, that'll make people to stop scrolling and actually look at it and read. Because that's the hard thing. Because, you know, we scroll through this really quickly. So that's how you curate. It takes a lot of work. I think building up content for social media is probably the most tedious task, but it's also the most fun task because you can get really creative. I love when clients are like, I don't know what to do, you do it. And so when they give me that creation, that ability, I'm like, all right, let's go, And so when I do stuff that's like, whoa, that's like really cool that we got so many likes on this. I was like, yeah, told you, And then in some cases, I have some clients where everything I make has to be approved before it goes out. And I'm just like I had a bunch that I had sent off to somebody and I'm like, it's been a month. I need to make more content. I need to know if you like this first. So, but yeah, it's a fun process. It's just a part where you get creative and, really try to tell the story in a way that people understand it.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, with your experience, that is really, really, really good info that I can learn from.
Yeah.
Gotta know the name. Gotta learn the name of the game on social media. So
yeah. Steal. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I've had people. I have a friend of mine who has a podcast. He's like, "Hey, how'd you make this?" Like, he was going through my IG, and I was like, "Well, I can show you how real quick." And so, because he's a friend, I let him into my software, and I was like, "Here you go." And he's like, "Holy crap!" I was like, yep, "Have fun. It's fun. It is. If you really like doing that process, then it's gonna be it'll be easy to turn that around into creating those pieces."
Nice. So, we cover Power Rangers and know all of us love Power Rangers. So, how did you become a fan of Power Rangers? Like, what season started it all for you?
Yes, I was just wanting to ask that too.
You guys don't know the story? Oh my gosh. So obviously it was the OG MMPR. I was in second grade, 93. Oh my God. I'm so old. But I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, holy crap, this looks so cool. And my dad was like, do you want to watch this show? I was like, it starts on so-and-so day or whatever. So no joke, he brought out the VCR tape and put it in and he says, what time does this come on? And he recorded it every day for me. So I had to be really good in school. And if I did really, because my mom worked at the same school. So if I didn't have any issues, my dad would give me the tape Friday night. And Friday night was always like our takeout night. We would always get like pizza or burgers or whatever. And we'd eat and then they would rent their movies. So my mom and dad went and watched their movie. I went and watched Power Rangers and I watched that tape all through the weekend, nonstop, 5 episodes, just over and over again until Sunday night. And then I gave him back the tape and did it all over again. And so, yeah, MMPR was the one that did it for me. I really loved Kimberly because she was a gymnast. I was a ballet dancer. I had started dance when I was in first grade. And that was the one thing I could connect. I was like, okay, well, she's a dancer. She's a gymnast. I'm a dancer. Like we're on the same level. I could be Power Ranger too, And, and so, that's just corny thinking. But yeah, I was a really big fan. And I started to see I was a fan all the way up until junior year. No, not junior year. Junior high. I think it was about 7th grade. But yeah, a lot of the kids made fun of me for liking that stuff. And I was like, you're crazy. Like I had the shirts and everything, 5th grade, I had the shirts. And I was like, everyone made fun of me, which is really funny now because when I go back home, all those kids that made fun of me are like, yo, you work for so-and-so. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You were making fun of me. And my mom was like, God, you're so mean. I said, no, those kids were picked on me when I was a kid. And now that you see, that I get to travel with some of these guys, I have my own business and I'm, working with these guys, the hell with you guys. I'm not doing that. But the tail end of my fandomness of it was Power Rangers in Space. I dipped in and out after MMPR. When it went into Zeo, it was like, all right. And then Turbo, I missed the whole movie. I caught it at a free movie in the summer, when they do those screenings during the summer.
Yeah.
I caught the Turbo movie. And then when I saw the Power Ranger movie, when I saw Turbo switch to the new characters and I saw Carlos, I was like, holy crap, that's a Mexican. Like, and I told my mom, I was like, yo, there's a Mexican on here. That's a Power Ranger. And then went into space. And then once they did the turtle episode, I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't watch this. Because I was in middle school at that point, you know, MTV and things like that. I'm like, and then what did it though? What brought me back was they announced the Silver Ranger, and I was like, "Oh, who's that?" And then when he took out the helmet, I was like, "Shit, I'm here, I'm devoted." And so I've told Nemo this story, but he's the reason why I kept watching. And then when it went into Lost Galaxy, I think I watched 2 episodes. I was like, "I'm done with this. I can't." And so then I went and grew up and watched MTV, TRL, and things like that. So, but that was really the Zordon era is literally the era that I remember the most.
It's funny enough. Because I told this to Ryan. I told this to people because they're like, "Did you ever stop watching Power Rangers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I stopped watching in middle school. Like after Mystic Force, I was done. I ain't go back. Like I watched a couple episodes of RPM. I'm like, okay, it looks cool, but it was like It was like 5 episodes in. I'm like, I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't even care. And what got me back into it was Ryan, because he heard me yelling about Megaforce, and he's like, "Hey, dude, do you like Power Rangers?" Like, yeah. What's it to you? And that's how me and Ryan became friends. I'm only saying the censored version of it, but he heard me being very angry.
It was rated R. It was rated R version.
Yeah, some PG version. I'm like, yeah, what's it to you?
I just cursed through all that. I apologize.
No, you good. Once again, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors because we know YouTube is going to demonetize us. So thank you very much.
Nah, Michael won't mind. He won't mind. So
Carson's Corner. I need a black hoodie, by the way. The black and space hoodie.
So other Mikey, yes, other Mikey. Oh my God, what's your name, Mikey? So other Mikey, MK. I'll call him MK. He needs a black and space hoodie or a silver one, or whatever. Yeah. Same thing. I technically didn't give up Power Rangers. I kind of like stopped after they stopped showing it in ABC Family.
You watch it on Toon Disney?
I did. No, well, RPM was ABC Family.
Okay.
Yeah, but in high school, I'm like, I watched Summer. I'm like, this is so cheesy. I mean, I guess it is cheesy, but I'm like, come on. I mean, at least with Disney, they actually had story, actually had development, treated us like adults. But like this one, like, okay, well, going back into Power Rangers because I want to go into some personal needs. I went through some personal crisis in my life, and Power Rangers did help me. You guys watch WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
you had your Wanda Maximoff moment.
Had a Wanda Maximoff moment. Okay?
Yeah.
watching that was my Wanda Maximoff. Right, Power Rangers was my Wanda Maximoff. So
yeah.
But I jumped back into the show like fully with Ninja Steel because Ryan needed someone to review it. And I'm like, sure, why not? And there you go. Yeah. I tried getting into Samurai the first time because I loved Shinkenger, and I'm like, it's not for me. I'm pretty sure my nieces would my nieces or nephews would like this. This show honestly is not for me, but I'm going back to rewatch it.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because I was just with the Beast Morphers guys in Florida last week, and they were doing the group pictures, and they said it's morphin time, and I was like, what the hell? Why are they saying it's morphin? And I asked and I said, wait, do you guys say it's morphin time when you morph? He's like, yeah. And I said, why? And he says, I don't know. That's our morph. I said, that's weird. And then like even Roger's like, yeah, we didn't say it's morphin time. I was like, yeah, I mean, there's Shift and a Turbo, Let's Rock It, Go Galactic. Like, I'm like, did you guys bring back it's morphin time? He's like, I guess. And then they were like, what'd you guys think we said? I said, I don't know, Beetle Morph Galactic or some shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know what you guys do. I don't watch your show. And they just with the thing, but I guess they brought back it's morphin time. I'm not sure.
They brought it back with
with
Power Rangers Samurai.
They did? No, Samuraiser.
No, it's like it's morphin time. Samuraizers. Go Samurai.
Interesting.
Yes. Now, speaking going forward after Power Rangers, now, Martha, how did you create this dynamic, interesting, this dynasty of King? How did you make MDMC Entertainment? Like, what made you start doing this?
Oh, all right, so this sounds really bad, but I gotta go there. So when I was working the really boring job the first time where I looked like really bad and I was driving all nonstop to get to Poway, my boss sat down with me. He's like, where do you want to be? And I was like, honestly, like, where do you want me to, like, where do I want to work? He's like, yeah. I said, I really want to work for Warner Brothers. And he's like, really? And I said, yeah, I think, now that I had gone to San Diego Comic-Con, I think that was 2013, 14. And I said, okay, this is a trade, because I was doing trade shows at convention centers. And I was like, this is basically a trade show for nerds. I could do this. And the big companies are here, ABC, Fox, Lego, Disney, Warner Brothers. I said, all these people have marketing departments, which I don't know why I didn't click at the time. And so I said, all right. And then what also pissed me off was Black Nerd got I needed the Dragon Dagger San Diego version. And I was like, how the heck did this guy get it before everyone else did? And I was like, all right, that's it. I'm going to write a blog. I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to do all this stuff. So I started writing entertainment pieces and entertainment blogs. And I went under a pseudonym, which I will not say the name of the pseudonym because it's really bad. And so I started writing content that revolved around entertainment. So I was doing like WWE predictions. I was writing all this kinds of stuff. And I kind of dipped into the Star Trek world for a minute. And so I wrote about a project that my now friend Manu and Tereme was working on. And so he was on Star Trek Voyager. He was the Borg drone boy. But I wrote about his project, and somewhere down the line, I didn't put it on his page. I didn't advertise or anything. I put it under all of my pseudonyms, social media pages, and I just spread it out. Okay. And then they hit me up. This team hit me up. They were like, hey, can we post this? I was like, yeah, sure. And then he got in touch with me and he was like, hey, like, who are you? Like, what are you about? What's going on? And so we started talking. And he was like, hey, I do need a marketing person. Do you want to join my Facebook page and start growing it there? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so it started out that way. And then, and so he was talking to me through the pseudonyms, social media. And then he's like, I'm coming to San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con, let me meet up with you. And so I was like, all right. And then I told Jared, my husband, I was like, he's gonna come and he's expecting to meet someone else. Now remember, the pseudonym is not my face. It was a completely different girl. It was a different name. And I'm like, how am I gonna explain? I literally catfished this guy. And I said, how am I gonna, and I did that because I didn't want my work to know what I was doing, because they're all marketing pros, they'll figure it out, right? And so I totally did that under this shield of just secrecy. So I go to the screening, which Gene Roddenberry's son is hosting. And I meet this guy and he calls me by my pseudonym name. And I'm like, oh, hey. And he's like, what? And I was like, hi. I said, I just want you to know I did everything because I was trying to hide from work. Like, that this is really me. And he was like, okay, that's cool. Like, he didn't freak out at all. I thought, oh God, I'm going to lose everything right here because I'm pretending to be somebody else. And so I said, all right, enough of that. And so once I started working with him a little bit further and I started working on his new movie that he was working on, I was like, all right, I need to come up with a name for my actual business because the pseudonym is not going to work. So let's make a company name. So around January of 2016, we started thinking names. In my master's, when I was getting my master's, I wrote out a business plan for a company and it was called Shine Inc. And I was like, okay, let me see if Shine Inc.'s available as a URL. It wasn't. And I was like, damn, okay, well, let's think of another name. And just out of nowhere, I was like, I need to be able to tell people I do this in entertainment because I want to market entertainment. So we were playing around with names and it wasn't me that came up with it. It was actually Jared's idea. He's like, MD, okay, that's your initial. I was like, but I'm a marketing consultant. He's like, MDMC. And I was like, that sounds dope. And I was like, all right, well, let's do that. So we kind of just ran with it. And just the other day, I made my website. So it was 5 years ago that I made the website of MDMC. And it just kind of happened that way. And so everything that I was doing like on the side was now going through the MDMC side. And just last year when I got my big client, I had to, they were like, you're hitting a lot of money and you're going to get taxed at some point. So you should probably turn this into a corporation. And I was like, damn, all right. Because I didn't want to get hit with taxes by the IRS. So I was like, all right. So I had to go and file my paperwork for incorporation. So MDMC is now a corporation by the eyes of the government. So this is a legitimate business. This isn't just something that has an LLC on it. It is legit a corporation. So that costs a lot of money to do, but it's official. So yeah, it took a long time to get here.
Funny is you actually told me to do this when I was still a wee bit little young man in 2017. So I actually remember that you actually want to do something like this. So
You're still a wee young man, but okay.
A wee
Anyway, so while I think over this interview, I'm just kidding.
That's all it's gonna be.
Anyway, Leo, you have next question.
Yeah, I got it. Can you tell us a little bit more about MDMC Entertainment?
Oh no, wait. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically the service we provide, it's all marketing based. So if you need social media help, if you're not posting every day or you just don't have a vision or you're just slapping stuff up and hoping it sticks to get you business, and you're not seeing anything, people usually call me for that, for social media management, for content creation, websites, email marketing campaigns, which are super important to lead generation and to make money for your business. I do that. Paid advertisements. Yeah, that 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's everything I do. So it's just all of these little things that any business that needs help growing their business, whether it's just getting more visuals out there, to getting more publicity, getting more people to actually see your business and actually create that voice for you, then that's what we do. So one thing I tell a lot of business owners, ironically, I got a lead. I actually have a customer now that watch my YouTube show that I do bi-weekly on Thursdays. Social media is one of those things that you have to invest money into. And I'm not just saying pay me to do your stuff, but you also need to pay the ads that go with it, because if you're new to it or don't know, Facebook and Instagram are pay to play platforms. You have to pay to be seen. And so I always tell people, when you hire us, remember that everything that we do organically it's organic. It's like a crock pot. You're not going to see the results right away. It's going to sit there and marinate for a while until it just pops off and people start seeing it. If you want people to actually turn into customers, eventually you are going to have to put that money aside to put into your budget for ad spend for your ads. And so I tell people that constantly, that they need to put that aside. So yeah, we do all that lead generation. A lot of people don't know how to generate leads. Ironically, we do a lot of work within LinkedIn. We do a lot of mining, which it's not frowned upon, but people do it. It's a marketing tactic. So we know how to do it the right way and the ethical way. And so, yeah, we've turned people's businesses around just by mining data and getting that right data right in front of the right people that probably have the funds to do what they need to do. So it's a lot of work. It's not just social media. There's a lot of other building elements that go into it. So, yeah.
So, Martha, we have 2 more questions before we go to the fans.
Okay.
A lot of people say hi to you, by the way.
Hi, everybody.
So what's your advice on becoming an entrepreneur?
I mean, one thing's for sure, you got to know what the hell you're doing. I have people that are entrepreneurs that I've worked with that I know aren't good at what they do. They don't know what they're doing, but they want to charge people for services that they can do. And I'm like, you don't know how to do that though. Why are you going to charge people that? Because then you're just going to fall flat on your face, and then you're going to have to pay back everything because eventually the customer is going to want a refund. So you better stand firm on what you're going to do. But my advice is run with your passion, make sure that you're really good at it, get educated in it. Because it's not something that, being an entrepreneur is, as much as Instagram makes it look amazing and fabulous and all that shit, it's not that. really have to know what you're doing, and you really have to realize that there is no net. Like, I don't have a 9-to-5 job to fall on. That every job that I do, every client that I pick up, I have to make sure 100% my focus is on them, because I could lose them at any given time. So if I lose them, there goes my money. There goes, there goes rent money, there goes the bill money, So you have to really be 100% knowledgeable in the service that you're providing people, and make sure that you can deliver it in a foolproof way, so that you don't mess up and go broke, because a lot of people won't. I've seen a lot of people try and do this and they can't do it, and they can't figure out why. I said, that's because you don't know what you're doing. Get educated in what you're doing. I've had, luckily for me, and I don't talk about this a lot because it just doesn't, I don't like to brag, guys. Like, there's some entrepreneurs out there that love to brag about what they're doing. I don't. I usually keep things on the low, and I just I move in silence. And I've had people be like, well, what are you working on? I'm like, I can tell you. But I've had people that have really tried going with what their passion is, but not being able to full on deliver with what they have. And so you just, but I've had years of experience, and I've had multi-million-dollar companies on my shoulders, and I've had my boss tell me, okay, we haven't gotten this many people come through and sign up for a consultation. We have this many people, our sales are this, like, literally the company's weight is on your shoulders, and you have to deliver. And I've had to produce and in the multi-million-dollar arena. So I've had to have people spend X amount of dollars to make sure this company keeps moving, because literally people says, if you're not working and you're not delivering, people don't get fed. And like, that kind of just like, that woke me up. It's like, shit, I'm going to have to take my job seriously, because if we don't deliver, someone's losing their job. And so, the first company I was at was a $5 million company. The first year I was there, it went to a $6 million company. And then the next following year, it went up to an $8 million company. Then it went to an $11 million company. Same thing with the last one I was at. I started out at a $2 million company. Because of the things that I implemented into those companies, they grew millions of dollars. And so, I mean, that's a lot of stress and a lot of weight on someone's shoulders, but you have to be able to deliver, and you have to be able to know what you're doing before you go into that entrepreneurial world, because you don't want to fall flat on your face. And the last thing you want to do is go back and work for somebody else. You want to build your own empire. And so people didn't tell me how hard it was. I work from about 9, 10 in the morning to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I go back at it about 8, 9 o'clock at night up until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, depending on what I'm working on. And so you have to have a passion for it. You have to love what you do. You can't hate it, by all means. If you hate it, then go find a 9-to-5. But really just make sure that it's your passion, it's what you love to do, and you'll never get tired of it. As stressful as my job is, especially with my largest client today. I had a lot of software issues. I moved over an entire company from an old software that they were using to manage all their day-to-day customers into something more sleek and sophisticated. So that's been like a 9-month journey with these guys. And so today everything broke. So I'm like, crap. All right. Okay. Let me, so I'm talking to my programmer. I'm talking to, salespeople. I'm talking to reception. I'm like, all right, guys, this is, everything's working now, but it's a lot of weight on people's shoulders. People don't understand marketing. People think marketing is just social media and pretty pictures on Instagram. It's not. I do the whole thing, not just a little piece of it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great advice that I could get. Well, it's true. That's true.
No, and this is advice for everyone, especially people who are trying to become social media giants, or juggernauts and stuff. So yeah,
like us. I was kidding.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Those influencers, let me tell you, it's interesting.
Yeah. So Martha, our final question is: what is your advice to anyone who's trying to go into media marketing or trying to create creative content?
So anyone going into marketing, just be patient, really learn everything that you can, either whether you're learning it through college or what I really suggest a lot of people, because nowadays people don't go to college. A lot of people are self-learners or self-teachers. I would go to like Skillshare or, YouTube and find someone has a really good track record and learn from them. Do not, whatever you do, people, do not hire a social media coach or anyone that says they're a coach, because those are scams. A lot of those coaches, I worked for one, but I know what their business model is. If they can sign people up to learn from them, they usually charge a lot of money, like several G's worth. And then they give you a basic ass PDF on what you're learning. And then they go on and you just leave the program. It's really, these people are really not savvy in what they teach. Their objective is to become an entrepreneur that makes 10 figures a month. So be careful. Don't go near any of those social media coaches. Don't do it. You're going to blow a lot of money and you're not going to learn anything. I suggest if you are in college or you're starting to go in that direction, take a couple courses, go to Skillshare, go to YouTube, find reputable people, find a mentor maybe that's already in the industry. And I swear to God, learn from people that are really good at this. Maybe people that you know, or find someone on LinkedIn. Maybe someone would like to be a mentor, and have people learn from that end. Really learn it, really absorb it, and keep growing, because the marketing world changes so much. And just talking on the social media sphere, like now we have TikTok, now we have Reels, now we have Clubhouse, all these things are moving and changing, and marketers have to stay on top of it. Like Clubhouse is a big thing right now. We got on it, TikTok, we're getting there. Reels, we're getting there. But yeah, you have to really be open and willing to learn and to not get frustrated. And for digital content, again, make something that's appeasing, that put yourself in the user's shoes and say, what's going to make me stop and watch this? And always think about the user's experience, not your experience. How are they going to interact with it? Because we tend to be a little slighted when we start thinking about, well, I do it this way. Well, not you do it that way, but how do your other users use things? Learn how to read analytics. Really just study every day. I subscribe to a lot of newsletters from marketing agents, well, not agencies, but like news outlets like Marketing Land and Entrepreneur Magazine and Social Media Examiner. They're a really great one here, based out of San Diego. They do daily posts about the news that is revolving around the industry. I would say subscribe to those, because that's going to keep you updated with all the new things that are changing in marketing. So just keep yourself educated, guys.
That's right, guys. Stay in school. Well, not really at school, but get some information. Basically, what you're saying is get connections.
Yeah, don't be afraid to network. Just for the love of God, don't network with people and try to take advantage of them.
Yeah,
don't do that. Yeah,
I've had a lot of, network with the intention of wanting to know what that person does and the intent of growing from them, not stealing from them. I've had a couple of instances myself where people have wanted to work with me and it just ended badly. So, so some people don't work with me anymore because, I kind of saw through that. But I just got off the phone with Brendan Brazier of 1DR Productions. He had the same situation where people were working with him just to get the connections. And networking is about connections, but just don't be thirsty about those connections. Grow into it, and just really come from a good place before you go on and ask for that type of information. So,
yeah, or at least try to work hard for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really show that you want to be in that industry, or you want to learn from that, because I could see through bullshit from a mile away. Okay. And so, one of the last situations I had personally, I kind of saw through it, and I kind of knew this person wanted my Hollywood connections, like people I was working with and things like that. I'm like, I'm not giving you these numbers. Like, no. A free trip here and there. I was like, you're not going anywhere. Fuck that.
Yeah, I feel you, because there is some people, I won't say who, but like there's some people actually want like context of how I got this special guest on the show, and I'm like, sorry, that's privacy. So I'm sorry. I mean, if you want to maybe find out, look for their agent, do the information, do some research, but I'm not giving their personal or even professional email stuff. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Definitely network with purpose, but not for malicious purposes.
Yes. Woo! I love this interview already.
Oh, we're gonna sip some tea today.
I got my Arizona tea. Actually, I want to back. For the information you've given me, boss. I was kidding.
Oh my! You make it sound like she's like big boss of Metal Gear. She's the one who's pulling the strings at the end of the day.
Actually, she is. I mean, well, not really, but hey. This woman actually helped us create this empire we have right now. So
I know. I was there.
Yeah,
I was there.
In my darkest moment too.
Let me just put it this way: I almost got into a fight at PMC over it. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
There was almost some
without going into details of what we was talking about. Martha, that like I was there. Martha's the real one. I'll say that right now. Not putting tea out or anything like that. But Martha was there, and she the real one. Just saying right now.
And a co-founder of Morphin Network, even though she doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of true.
That's a really sweet honor, guys. I appreciate it. I don't even see myself as that, but thank you. I just wanted you guys to be happy and to thrive. And again, you guys want to do something you wanted to do. I mean, I kind of just pushed you in that direction. Just gave you the push. I don't, I'm not behind the scenes on this. I've made a couple cameos, but I've never done. This isn't.
She's never gonna take the title as co-creator. Okay.
No, never. I didn't do that. You guys did that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, guess who's here?
Who?
It's probably Lewis.
Oh my
God.
Yeah, I thought you were busy. I thought I
am busy. Listen, I'm always busy, but I always show love. So shut up.
This mofo was like, I was like, hey, you're gonna tune in and support. You're like, I might give it a view, but I'm watching the Justice League. I'm watching the Snyder Cut. And I was like, oh, well, great work, team.
Hey, Luis, what hour are you on the Snyder Cut? Oh, you're now hour 3 or hour 2?
No, I'm part 3.
I mean, I finished like my eyes hurt. Legit, bro. It's like 4 hours.
My pizza's coming, guys. Like after this, I'm gonna eat the pizza. I'm gonna sit in front of the TV until midnight. So
I was like, let's just keep it 100. Lewis was watching as his New York Knicks are finally trying to win something. So
you mean Nets?
It don't matter. Yeah, them too.
You mean Nets more? Nets more.
He's honestly just watching his Nets actually claw and make it to the number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference.
Listen.
And what?
They just bought the right people. That's it. They bought the right people.
He's 36. He's 36. Leave LeBron alone. He's 36.
Go home.
Anyway.
God. Anyways.
So yeah.
Fans?
Huh?
Fans?
Fans? Oh yes. At least you can stay. You're cool anyway. So
Martha, we got some people that want to shout you out. So let's do it.
Okay. Lewis with his guys.
Yeah. Cody says, Martha, what are you saying? So you're Superman's mom? Oh, I knew it. I'm Batman's mom. Edward Torres says,
oh, Eddie. Oh, that's a hot picture of Eddie. Hello. How you doing?
And then our boy Cody, who makes our thumbnails. Martha, you and I work with Cast 1 point LOL.
I was in association with that company. I still work with those guys. They're great.
Oh, my cousin's here. Oh, he actually loves your show. He's the one who always comments. How did you meet Roger? And are you still selling shirts of those cheese ends that was on his own? Oh, you mean this one?
Well, I don't have. I mean, we have the artwork. We need to find someone to print those out. Once we do, we'll put it on Roger's website. But the question was, how did I meet Roger?
Yeah,
Is that what it was? How did I meet Roger? Oh, okay. So I had to
I was
think
gonna
about.
say, how did you forget?
How did you forget?
Okay, so Cody and I guess at one point were working with the same company, but so one of my friends was an agent or is an agent, and she got Roger as a client, and she's like, hey, this guy needs social media help. And I was like, all right. And she was like, he needs to talk to you. I'm going to pass over your phone number. I was like, all right. Roger calls me, and it's just the funniest thing. He's just so crazy. He's like, hey, what's going on? Like, I really need help with this, this, and this. And I was like, all right, yeah, that's totally fine. And so we kind of just kept talking, and he literally lives in Huntington Beach, and I'm in San Marcos, so I'm not too far, you know. And the first time we actually met was in Lexington, Kentucky, because he was doing his appearance there. And so, of course, I flew out there, you know, because he's like, I want you at my table. I want you to, you know, all this stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. So I flew out there with the agent, too. She met me there. And that was the first time we met. And it was a really fun experience. That after we did that, he's like, all right, you have to travel with me everywhere. And I was like, well, I mean, let's see what happens. And then, you know, 4 years later, here we are still traveling together. We just got back from Florida last week. So he's a great guy. I love him to pieces. He's fantastic. And he's an entrepreneur himself. He's his own boss, does his own thing. And he's, you know, he's like, he and I were like, man, we're both bosses. I was like, yeah, you know. So yeah, that's how I met Roger.
You guys don't know Roger's the Black and Space Ranger. Just like you guys know, or at least don't know, we're talking about.
The Inside team is my crew in my mind. Well, not all of them, but you know what I mean.
Everyone says take notes, people.
Thanks.
Yep, that's kind of true.
That's true. He is. Yep.
Kent saying, hey y'all, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Kent?
17 is Laugh Associators. Oh, you're all bullies back when you reminded. Yeah. Keep chasing your dreams. Aw.
Yep. It's your dreams, guys. Yeah. Someone else will hire you to make them for them.
Kevin Yoshifumi Matsumura. Nostalgia teasers and previews are not on the DVDs. Yeah, that's true. And also nice commercials. Oh, in your VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Greetings from India house. What's up, Pratamish?
What's up, India?
Do you have any advice for future digital marketers who want to join?
I mean, like I said, get educated, really start diving into all aspects of marketing, not just social media. And like I said, go to Skillshare, any of those educational sites out there. If you're not in college yet, you know, you can self-learn, go to YouTube and start learning it that way. Take some notes, join a course. I know some colleges do offer, like, I think now, especially during COVID, I think there's a lot of colleges that you can just jump in on, and they probably do offer like free webinars and stuff. I know Marketing Land has webinars. A lot of like the marketing news groups or those news web pages, they do have webinars. So jump into some of those and start learning.
Great. Awesome. Well, you kind of answered this, but you kind of
What
did.
kind of ranger would you be?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. So for the in-space team, for the in-space team, because I've traveled with all of them, I think I was in Canada with Selma and Tracy, Nemo, and Chris. Roger didn't make it, but I was like, all right, we're missing the pink. And so there was a video of us coming off the dock, and I was like, hey guys, I'm the new Pink Ranger. And so I'm filling in for Patricia until she comes back, and she knows. Patty knows. So I told her, I said, come back and get the throne. But yeah, pink for me, pink in space.
Carson, get her that hoodie. Oh yeah, so yeah, Mike.
Black hoodie.
This is Roger's boss, technically. Well, Roger's the boss, but it's Roger's assistant. So, or
Man, I don't know what I am to Roger. I was like, am I your manager? Am I your marketing person? Like, what am I? I don't know. We go to shows and it's like manager. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just run with that.
Be sure to check their merch too. They actually also have a lot of good merch. King the Hill.
Shouts to Carson's Corner.
Yeah, I need to go. I went through their site the other day. Fantastic stuff, guys.
Yeah, I actually want to buy one of their Sailor Moon masks. So
Yo, they got Golden Girls and Designing Women. Those are two of the shows that I grew up watching when I came home from school before Power Rangers came on. So I'm finna cop me a Designing Woman t-shirt.
Fantastic website. Whoever made that did great work, by the way.
thank you for being an inspiration to parent to us. Oh,
That's so sweet. Thank you, Seth. Thanks for watching Business Bully and Beyond, by the way.
this weird guy saying that you're awesome. So I don't know.
Who's this weird Joker? I don't know.
Yeah, who's this weird Joker? I don't know. Look at that with the shades and stuff.
Get out of here.
Yeah, don't get out of here.
Roller.
Your favorite interview did on your YouTube page. Yeah, she did a lot of interviews. Which one was it?
Yeah, what's your favorite one?
Yes, favorite one. Honestly,
No pressure, but you're on the spot.
Yeah, no pressure.
I mean, yeah, I did the interview with Ryan. That was a lot of fun. I think, honestly, I've been getting some really cool people. Shout out to Morphin Network because they've been giving me some fantastic guests, by the way.
Yeah.
I just had Arthur Ramford. He was funny. I think if you watch it, I just let him talk. He was just happy. I was like, you talk, dude. I think my favorite interview. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to give it to Dave Gomez at the Wrestling Guy store because he, outside of Power Rangers, I do dabble in other areas. So, I've been dabbling in wrestling, WWE, AEW guys. And
Don't leave me hanging, Martha.
What?
Don't leave me hanging.
Wrestling fan, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And so the Wrestling Guy store, the one with David Gomez, it has to be one of my favorite ones because I've always gone to his store and I've done signings. And again, this is the networking thing, people. I always went to his store. I always, always pay for my stuff and, always support small businesses, guys, 100%. And he's just a guy that I eventually just started talking to. And we just, over the years. And when I 100% devoted my time to MDMC, I remember I printed out my postcards and I spent a day in LA. I was passing them out at Frankenstein's. I was passing them out to people I knew there. And I stopped at David's store and I said, hey, if you know anybody that needs help, can you give them my postcard? He's like, absolutely, anything that you need. And so he's just one of those guys that I've just grown to respect and like. And he was just, I asked him one day, I said, do you want to be on my show? And he's like, hell yeah. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. And we had a great time. I think that one has to be my favorite. I just called him the other day at the yesterday morning. He doesn't answer on social media for some reason. So I called the store and I was like, David. And he's like, Martha? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, hey. And like, we just sat there, we were talking shop and, future appearances. And then he's like, oh, I gotta get off the phone. A customer's here. And I was like, oh, I was like, all right, I'll talk to you later. So he's just one of those people that he's just fun. I don't know. That was my favorite one for sure.
Oh, Paradigm's asking, do you have any advice for any aspiring podcasters starting their own podcasts?
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm not a podcast fanatic. Like, I'm not a podcast professional here. We actually learned everything we know from the Facts of Life founder, Alex. So we started on Anchor because that's what he did. And, Anchor actually distributes your podcast automatically. You don't have to go into each platform and set it up. So I started with my show, my YouTube show, and I started throwing stuff onto Anchor and it started distributing itself. So I went on to Spotify and iHeart and Apple and all the major ones, right? And, I'd say, because me and Lewis were laughing at some dumbass the other day. Whenever you do a podcast, make sure you think out the topic, make sure that it's going to be informative because people are listening to you and like you want to make sure that you're really giving someone the value because you got to revalue everyone's time. Okay. You don't be wasting people's time, people,
Mm-hmm.
And so really think out those topics, really think about your audience and what they want to listen to and put in at least 30 to 45 minutes at a time. Don't read off of anything. Don't read from a script. You're going to sound stupid. Really go in there with your heart and soul because people will resonate with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Lewis's show is also on podcast streaming sites as well. The development is so.
And also he actually did interview for Power Rangers fans, Andrew Lang, the Vengeance and
And
Evox
then-
RPM. Yeah, so check that out.
Heck yeah, it's still on. Yeah.
I like it.
Emmanuel, I respect you getting real hope to write for PR. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jared's saying,
Lulu.
yeah, Lulu, where'd you get the beanie, Lulu?
Oh my god.
Listen, this is my personal beanie. This is nothing special. It's just a black beanie.
Okay, Lulu.
Lulu. Yeah.
Oh, looks like our own Jen.
Can I
Yo.
And
what's
Hi,
up,
Jen.
girl? Can I get an autograph? Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. I'm Martha's as a manager. She's charging $100 for an autograph. I'm sorry. So
I do for free. I do for free.
you did it for free?
It's so funny because
$1.
over the years, I've seen agents who rep people sell their own autographs. We don't do that here, but if you want one, I think we can get an MDMC group picture, and we can definitely sign those. We'll sign those for free.
Yeah. From RS Morphin Network, it's gonna be 40. Just kidding. No, I was kidding.
No. Just for listen, I don't know about Ryan. Just $1. That's all.
That
Anyway.
Oh,
I'm cheap. I'm cheap. Just $1. It's okay.
Yeah, guys. So that's pretty much. Oh, that's it. So, well, thank you guys for being part of this special interview on this lovely Thursday. I know you guys are want to watch the Snyder cut, so we'll let you because this woman actually wants to watch her Cavill. So
Henry Cavill is my boo. I love Batman, but I also love Superman. So, we do have an announcement, Ryan.
Oh yes. So they are actually doing some merch now and selling some merch. I almost forgot. Oh, that's having so much fun. So there you can find them. It's called at mdmcentertainment./merch.html. This is what it looks like. Give me a sec. I'll go to the photos.
Yep.
Let me see where to put them. Okay. So here's one.
There's
Yeah.
a headquarters.
Alright.
Yeah.
So that's $30. And then here is Luis's shirt.
Yep. This is the development. The East Coast crew has their own shirts as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yep, there you go. And yes, as Martha promised, as she said here, she will forsett all these Ranger fans. We saw it on Instagram. We saw that too. They will make this.
Yeah. And
All I'll
also,
say is if somebody buys my shirt first, they'll get something special for me. That's all I'm saying. So somebody will buy my shirt first. Right here.
I
This video is sponsored by MDMC.
Look at Leah.
You're legit wearing your shirts, Martha. So.
yeah. I love it. Also, in the comments, Alex asked if he can get an auto. He's already got one. He got a special, an exclusive back in the day. Wow.
That's only
Yeah,
fans. Those undies.
What's happening on the East Coast, guys?
You guys are great.
MDMC OnlyFans page.
There's an OnlyFans page coming soon by the development. With the fact of life.
With the facts of life.
Oh man. What was so funny was Lewis was over there with Facts of Life the other day. He's like, hey, he took a picture of the exteriors, and I was like, oh, you're in the Bat Cave. And he sent a GIF of him and Kramer and George taking pictures, like with George in his underwear. I was like, oh my god, the OnlyFans is coming.
oh god.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Coming soon.
Yeah, you guys,
$1 subscription.
yeah. But thanks for sharing that announcement. I'm really excited. We're gonna have the merch. Those more coming, guys. It's taken a while for us to get this going, but the merch is coming and it's available. And go buy it. Go support. That's not free, but support our stuff. Like our stuff. It's free.
That's free.
Guys, again, here you go. There's the headquarters one, and here's the one. Here's another one. There's the development one. And this one's coming soon. My friend actually made it. It's called Shelly Customs Creation. So it was just a good, special favor I asked her. So, and yeah, she actually also makes good cups too, personalized cups.
Oh,
That's my name on it.
Oh, look, Lewis is on that cup.
Yeah, that's my cup. Let me get that.
I'll send you the link to her page. She can make you a custom one, but it's mine. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So before we leave, where can you find you, Madam Staab?
Okay, well, if you want to find me personally, you can find me on Instagram at Martha D. Staab. If you want to support the business and all of our exciting adventures, that's at MDMC Entertainment, just like it says in my name, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest. We're everywhere. Just go out there, support us. I forgot to mention, but I did mention it briefly, but on our YouTube channel, we do have my show called Business Building and Beyond, and then Lewis's show is The Development, and it runs every other week. So today, my interview with Arthur Ranford just ran. So next week is Lewis. So literally go over there, go give us a sub, a like, a comment. Doing all that stuff is absolutely free, and it's a great way to support small businesses because we are a small business.
Awesome. Where can I find you? Oh yeah, you kind of didn't tell me where it was. Where can you find me? Find you, Luis. Where can you find you?
I don't know where they can find you, Ryan, but they can
Quiet,
find me.
boy.
They can find me on mostly Instagram because that's where I'm at mostly. I don't stay on Facebook like that. It's _official, and you can have all my links there. So if you want to show some love to my shows, like I show love to Morphin Network, you could do it right there. And don't forget, I'm just saying, if you buy one of my shirts and you send me a photo or tag me on it, I'll send you something.
Yeah, definitely. If you buy any of our merch, please take a picture, tag it. You're going to see some amazing people with these shirts here very, very soon. So you're about to see us take over. I'm really excited.
And where can I find you, my sweet compadre, in the top of me with an adventure shirt?
Sweet compadre, I like that. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Reckless_Fox, YouTube Reckless_Fox, and find all my latest game content on Twitch.tv/RecklessFox. And watch tonight because I might be playing Last of Us. And if you want more content, myself and a few other members here on Morphin Network, we do our video game podcast every weekend, and you can now find us on any podcast platform: SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, and Stitcher Radio. It's the Struggle Game Podcast, and we recently just talked about EA messing it up again. And Ryan, where can the people find you?
Instagram, DancerBoy247. I might put some dance videos. You never know. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at the Morphin Network. And please follow them too, MDMC Entertainment. And yes, guys, they will have the shirt maybe ready. Here, now this is what it looks like. Bam. There we go. So guys, this is the Morphin Network, and as we will do a goodbye wave. So bye, guys.
Bye guys. Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.